dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News First at 4.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, the Mountain Parkway remains shut down hours after a deadly chain reaction crash in Powell County. We are told smoke from forest fires might have played a role in the crash. It happened about 9 this morning near exit 33. That's the Slade exit where you get off to go to Natural Bridge. Several vehicles were involved and at least one person was killed. 15 others were injured. Crews have spent the last 7 hours trying to figure out how it happened. A volunteer firefighter says the man who died was killed when he got out of his vehicle to try and help another driver, and he was struck by someone who did not see him. As you can see by the video there, the air has cleared considerably since it was so smoky earlier this morning. The victim who was killed has not been identified, and again, at last check, the roadway remained shut down. We hope to have much more on this crash coming up tonight at 6. Well, we showed you video yesterday of how smoke is affecting travel conditions here in southeastern Kentucky, but that's only the beginning. Another big concern for many is health problems. WYMT's Caleb Noe spoke with a doctor today in Harlan who says he's seen several patients recently dealing with respiratory issues.
Well, many people who live in southeastern Kentucky can't help but breathe in smoke, even with just one step out the front door. Flames are still close to some homes, and forestry officials are still working to get dozens of fires under control. But at this point, flames are only part of the issue.
You're liable to go into respiratory failure, which means you have to go to the hospital.
The smoke can be overwhelming at times, especially for those who live near where the forest fires are burning. Most of the health dangers associated with the smoke boil down to one thing: carbon monoxide.
Carbon monoxide gets in the bloodstream, which comes from the fire, and you inhale it, and it ties up your red cells. So even if you don't have any health problem to start with, you will develop acute impact from it.
Dr. Dahan says smoke from these forest fires in many cases is actually more dangerous than secondhand cigarette smoke. Now, regardless of age or health conditions, those who are exposed to the smoke for longer periods of time are the ones most likely to develop health issues because of it. Reporting in Harlan County, Caleb Noe, WYMT Mountain News.
People who live in southeastern Kentucky are still under a smoke inhalation advisory issued by the Kentucky Department for Public Health. We'll have more on that tonight at 6.
High pressure and dry conditions continue the smoke threat, the forest fire threat as well. And this is something we're going to be tracking at least for another 2 days. High pressure providing a clear sweep on pinpoint Doppler you'll see here at 404. And how about the cloud cover? It's moved out. We're mainly clear conditions for tonight. Current temperatures across the region showing just how warm we are. 64 degrees in Jackson, 63 in Prestonsburg, and how about 66 in London with warmer temperatures in Middlesboro. Now, current dew points, they'll show you that we are still dry. Temperatures as far as dew points go around 32 degrees in Harlan, 30 degrees in Wise, and 39 degrees in Prestonsburg, but we're going to get even warmer and honestly probably drier as we head into your Thursday and Friday. Temperature is going to be approaching the 70-degree range. The 70s for tomorrow, 75 degrees for your Friday. And Steve, with dry conditions, a front on the way, windy conditions, I would not be surprised to see our forest fire threat move to the extreme category here over the next few days.
All right, Andrew, thank you. President-elect Donald Trump is in New York today deciding on who's going to fill key cabinet positions when he takes office. A shakeup in management had led to reports that the team was in disarray, something Trump loyalists are happy to refute. CBS's Kenneth Craig has the latest from Midtown Manhattan.
So we're very confident with how things are proceeding.
Aides to President-elect Donald Trump are offering a unified response to reports of turmoil within his transition team. Those reports surfaced after transition chair Chris Christie was demoted and all lobbyists were dismissed.
There is a solid process in place that we feel very comfortable with the names that we're looking at and the progress that we're making.
It's false to say it's not going well. And everything up there is very smooth. I know the president-elect himself, since I talk to him regularly, he's very happy.
The new head of the transition team, Vice President-elect Mike Pence, along with his wife Karen, had lunch with current VP Joe Biden and his wife Jill in Washington. Tomorrow, he'll meet with incoming Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer.
Inside Trump Tower, the president-elect held a meeting about potential Supreme Court appointees. He also met with New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio.
Outside Trump's Fifth Avenue high-rise, security remains tight. So much so that its neighbor, the famous jeweler Tiffany & Company, canceled its annual holiday window display spectacular. The store remains open, but it's surrounded by barricades. Tourists don't seem to mind.
I think they're going to get online shoppers and everything will be well. People aren't shy to part with their monies.
Across town, the company that owns several Trump-branded apartment buildings took down the gold letters after tenants petitioned for their removal. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, New York.
In our latest web poll, we wanted to know if you were pleased with what you are hearing from President-elect Donald Trump so far since the election. Around 75% of you said yes, nearly 25% said no. Remember, this is not a scientific poll, but one that represents the opinions of those who chose to participate. We'll have a new web poll at 6. Senate Republicans have unanimously re-elected Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell as Majority Leader. McConnell will serve as a key legislative partner for President-elect Trump. McConnell was Senate Minority Leader for 8 years before becoming the Majority Leader when the GOP took control in 2015. While McConnell did distance himself from Trump during the campaign, he now says he's ready to work with him. President Obama opened a speech in Athens, Greece, with a tribute to the birthplace of democracy. With an anti-American protest in the streets, President Obama said U.S. democracy is bigger than any one person, as he tried to calm European nerves about America's presidential election. The president said after 8 years in office, he still believes people of all countries share a desire to control their own lives and communities. Oklahoma's biggest airport is open after a deadly shooting caused chaos yesterday. The victim, Southwest Airlines employee Michael Winchester, was well known in the community as a former football player at the University of Oklahoma. His son now plays in the NFL. Police say a former Southwest Airlines worker shot and killed Winchester in retaliation for something that contributed to the attacker quitting his job with the airline last year. The attacker then killed himself. A prosecutor says the Minnesota police officer charged in the shooting death of a man has not been arrested but has agreed to surrender. Ramsey County Attorney John Choi says he expects St. Anthony police officer Geronimo Yanez to make his first court appearance Friday. He faces a second-degree manslaughter charge in the death of Philando Castile. Choi said Yanez was not justified in using deadly force against Castile during a traffic stop in July. The Kentucky Office of Homeland Security says the latest sale of confiscated weapons generated $100,000 in grants for law enforcement supplies. The money will be used to buy body armor, service weapons, ammunition, and stun guns for Kentucky departments on tight budgets. Weapons confiscated by law enforcement are sold by state police to firearms dealers at public auction. The sale proceeds are awarded to city, county, public university, sheriffs, and school district law enforcement officers. A Pennsylvania judge denied Bill Cosby's latest attempt to get his sexual assault case dismissed. Judge Stephen O'Neill rejected arguments that Cosby was unfairly prejudiced because prosecutors waited a decade to bring charges over a 2004 encounter at his suburban Philadelphia home. The ruling clears the way for the 79-year-old entertainer to go on trial by June. We now want to go back to that deadly pileup on the Mountain Parkway in Powell County near the Slade exit. Victor Puente has been tracking this story all day and joins us now with the very latest.
Crews have been out here for more than 7 hours trying to piece together how this deadly crash happened. Deputies tell me they believe low visibility because of smoke from forest fires in the Red River Gorge played a big role in this chain reaction crash. At least one person has died and as many as 15 others were injured. A volunteer firefighter tells me the man who died was killed when he got out of his vehicle to try to help another driver, and he was struck by someone who didn't see him. Signs had been set up on the Mountain Parkway warning drivers of that low-lying smoke. Forest rangers told me last week they were afraid of wrecks once it settled along the Mountain Parkway. There were so many people injured that Powell County had to call for additional ambulances from surrounding counties. They said it was difficult keeping track of all of the wounded.
I think 12 to 15. The ambulance I was in, we had 3. So we were having to, do 2 to 3, whatever we could do to get them out of there.
State police are in charge of the investigation. They haven't been able to give us a timeline as to when the road could reopen, although according to the state transportation website, it could be as late as 8 o'clock. In Powell County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
So again, you want to still avoid that area of the Mountain Parkway. We do have detour information posted on our website, WYMT.com. And of course, we'll have an update on this deadly pileup coming up tonight at 6 o'clock. Let's head over to Wall Street on this Wednesday. The Dow closes down today more than 54 points. United Airlines is hoping new, cheaper fares will boost profits. Starting in January, the airline will sell seats called Basic Economy at a lower cost. You won't be able to pick your seat, and you'll be limited to a single carry-on bag. Delta Airlines already has a similar model, and American Airlines is planning on one down the road. Now let's check out our first and 4 pump pricer. Gas is $1.87 at the Kroger on US 25E in Corbin. You can fill up your tank for $2.08 a gallon at the Speedway on South Mayo Trail in Paintsville, and gas is $2.09 at Smitty's on Combs Road in Hazard. If you see a lower price in your area, send us an email to pumppricer@wymt.com. Coming up on First at 4, research shows the world's blood pressure rates are increasing.
High pressure will bring warmth Thursday and Friday, but what about the weekend? The details coming up next.
If you're tired of this unseasonably warm weather, which I'm not, just wait a couple days.
It's going to be big changes in the forecast all around for eastern Kentucky. High pressure for now, providing that unseasonably warm temperatures and dry conditions. As you take a look at pinpoint Doppler, you'll see a pretty clean sweep and something we'll continue to look at. High pressure anchored down to the southeast, as you see on the big picture, and notice the south-southwesterly flow of winds on the back side of this high pressure system. And as that high pressure works its way down to the southeast, we will start to see an increase in temperatures here just on Thursday and Friday. You can already see it impacting temperatures across Nashville, Little Rock, even St. Louis already in the 70-degree range, but the mid-60s, not bad for mid-October, I should say November. And you'll notice temperatures right now, 63 degrees in Prestonsburg, 61 in Wise, and how about 67 degrees in Middlesboro. Now the next 12 hours, we are going to look at a mild night, mostly clear conditions with a cool start here, 42 degrees across the region, 43 for 4 o'clock, but we will quickly warm up, all because high pressure working its way, like we mentioned, to our southeast and really anchoring down as an upper level ridge provides plenty of warmth, southwesterly winds, and with that we will start to see some breezy conditions for Thursday and Friday. But how about a warm one? Now we do have that cold front still situated off, and you'll notice it finally starts to wake its way right into around 7 o'clock on Friday across the Ohio River, more across eastern Kentucky by 2:30 Saturday morning, and then that will continue throughout your Saturday morning commute. Clouds hanging tough, and our high temperature on Saturday will actually be at midnight. That's something that we're not used to seeing as cold air invades eastern Kentucky with wraparound precipitation and cold air in place. We might be able to see a snowflake or two, or maybe perhaps a brief snow shower in eastern Kentucky on your Saturday night into Sunday morning. Of course, no accumulations expected with this, but this would be something to keep an eye on if you are a snow lover. 75 degrees on Friday, 56 on that Saturday. Like we mentioned, a 50% chance of rain with the upgrade, 44 on Sunday, and how about 47 as we head into your Monday? But notice we now have more rain chances on the way. This system coming in looks to be on Wednesday and Thursday. And Steve, for us, anytime we could get more than 1 day of rain, that's the trend we've continued to look at That's a good sign for us here in Eastern Kentucky.
Much rather have rain than the snow, and I hate even hearing the word snow.
Winter weather forecast tomorrow.
That's right. Thank you, Andrew. Straight ahead on First at 4, vandals put a spin on a prominent Russian symbol. Some vandals in Russia gave one of the country's most recognizable symbols a cartoonish spin. They climbed to the top of a building in the center of a Russian city and changed a Soviet star adornment into Patrick, the comical starfish sidekick from SpongeBob. Authorities are investigating the incident, and locals are reportedly divided on the rogue artist's take on the star, which is historically a symbol of communism. People are praising a 9-year-old Florida boy after he swooped in at the last second to save his baby brother from falling off a changing table. The whole thing was caught on camera. The boy's mom, who also has 4 other children, says her son is a hero and hopes the video will be a lesson for others. Here's a look at what we're working on for Mountain News at 6. 2 people are injured after a boiler explodes at a Jackson County school. We'll have updates on forest fires that continue to burn in Harlan and Pike counties, plus a big honor for the Floyd County School District Superintendent. We hope you'll join us again for Mountain News at 6. New analysis of global data shows the number of people with high blood pressure has nearly doubled worldwide since 1975 to more than 1 billion. Levels are rising significantly in South Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa. Men have higher blood pressure than women in most regions around the world.
I'm Stacy Johnson. Ever have a great idea you know could make you a millionaire? Well, the guy behind me is a patent lawyer. He's going to tell you how to protect it. It's just ahead on Money Talks News.
Whether it's a better mousetrap or something more complicated, maybe you have an idea that would make the world a better place and make you rich in the process. But before you start out, you need to protect that idea with a patent. Here's money expert Stacy Johnson with the basics.
Anything that you physically build is probably going to be patentable as long as it's new, that nobody's thought of it yet. Things that are ideas, methods of doing things, steps that you would take, those are more questionable these days because of recent court rulings.
Scott Smiley is a patent attorney. His job is to protect inventors and their ideas so they're not stolen. So if you've got an idea and a way to market it, maybe you should talk to a patent attorney. But guys like Scott don't come cheap. He told me that his law firm charges between $5,000 and $9,000 on average to take a patent from beginning to end. As with many legal services, there are things you can do yourself. You can get tons of information, do a patent search, and even apply online at uspto.gov. And 80 public libraries around the country serve as field offices for the U.S. Patent Office. Visit one, and you'll find trained staff ready to help you learn more, do a patent search, and even apply. So a patent is something you can theoretically do yourself, but it's not something this lawyer would recommend. What he says you can do yourself, however, is file a provisional patent.
A provisional patent application is a great way to get a filing date and to become patent pending before you're ready, or maybe before you have enough money to file your formal application with all the legal requirements.
Bottom line, if you've got $1 million idea, you do want to protect it. If you don't have enough money to hire someone like Scott now, you can protect it yourself with a provisional patent. Then raise the money, come in here and do the job right. Now what you need, though, is a little more information and maybe some links. Both are waiting for you at moneytalksnews.com. Just do a search for patent. For Money Talks News, I'm Stacy Johnson.
On this day in history, November 16th, 2010, members from Eastern Kentucky's business community attended a sold-out energy summit in Pikeville. The event featured former Shell Oil Company President John Hoffmeister, who emphasized the importance of keeping the region's coal and natural gas industries alive. Hoffmeister spent 2 days in Eastern Kentucky touring the region's mines and reclaimed mine sites. All right, Andrew, a crazy 7-day forecast.
Anyone could take a stab at this. Take a look at your 7-day forecast. Increasing temperatures, 75 on Friday, dropping all the way down to 44 on Sunday. Rain chances Saturday, Wednesday, and honestly, if we want to go a little bit further out, it looks like Thanksgiving will have some rain chances as well. So in the next 8 days, 3 days of rain chances. That's good to see the pattern finally transitioning to more of a hopefully wet pattern here as we head into winter.
Maybe our first flakes this weekend too.
We'll see.
But not amounting to anything.
Not amounting to anything at all. Don't worry.
Thanks, Andrew. Thanks for joining us for First at 4. We'll see you back here at 6. Have a great afternoon.